Hello and welcome to daily news analysis of the Indian Express and the Hindu. So in this video, we will look at some of news items and editorials from our exam point of view. And then in the end, we will look at MCQs framed based on today's newspapers. Now, before moving forward, 7 sets under this video series, which is based on our complete syllabus, including current affairs and PYQs, have already out. So if you have not watched these 7 sets, then please go and watch it. It will definitely give a boost to your prelims preparation. And the upcoming sets, newer sets under this series will be in this week. Now let's start with today's news items. News item is retail inflation cools to 6.7% in October from 7.41% in September. So this is a good news related to inflation, where for the first time in past 4 months or 3 months, this inflation has been below 7%. But still it is above the limit of 6% that is prescribed to RBI Monetary Policy Committee. So for the past 10 months, this retail inflation has been over 6% limit. And according to RBI Act 1934, which was amended in 2016, if inflation is above the mentioned range, that is 2% to 6%, then RBI must submit a report to central government as to why it has not been able to achieve the targeted inflation rate. Similarly, the wholesale inflation has also come down to 8.4% in single digit. It was around 16% earlier, but it has come down to 8.4%. So it is also good news. Now let us see a few facts from prelims point of view about CPI and WPI. So wholesale inflation is based on wholesale price index, whereas retail inflation is based on consumer price index. So let us see about these two indexes. So wholesale price index sees the changes in prices at wholesale level. It is published by Office of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and its base year to calculate the price index is 2011 to 2012. Earlier it was 2004 to 5, but it was changed to 2011-12 in 2017. And the other index is consumer price index. So basically it measures the price changes from perspective of retail buyer, that is common people, and it is released by National Statistics Office, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. It has 4 subgroups based on which it measures the inflation, that is food and beverages, fuel and light, housing and clothing, and bedding and footwear. Now moving forward, the next news item is related to environment, atomic energy, hydrogen power, India's net zero plan. So currently conference of parties is ongoing in Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt, where our honorable environment minister is representing India in that regard. So India has announced its long-term strategy in COP27 as to how to achieve the goal of net neutrality by 2070. So in COP26, our honorable prime minister gave Panchamrit target, and in which one target was to be carbon neutral by 2070. So in this climate conference, we have charted out as to how we will achieve this carbon neutral status in 2070. So under it, we have laid out various measures that India have launched national hydrogen mission in 2021 to make India a green hydrogen hub. Then we will have a 3-fold increase in nuclear energy capacity in 1 decade, that is by 2032. Then we will achieve ethanol blending of 20% by 2025. Then we will give a boost to electric vehicles and public transport. And then in the end, we will use the climate finance provided by developed nations in this regard. So these all are measures through which India will achieve carbon neutral status by 2070. Now let us see about National Hydrogen Mission, which was launched in 2021. So it is based on green hydrogen. So what is green hydrogen? So green hydrogen is produced by electrolysis of water into H2 and O2. So here electrolysis, electricity is given. Now this electricity defines what type of hydrogen is produced. So if it is renewable energy is provided under specific condition, then it is green hydrogen. If the electricity produced by coal is used to convert into hydrogen, then it is called brown hydrogen. If the electricity produced by using natural gas and emissions are released in air, then it is known as gray hydrogen. And if the energy produced by natural gas but emissions are captured and not allowed to release in air, then it is known as blue hydrogen. So basically the process is same, that water is broken down into hydrogen and oxygen, and this hydrogen then used for energy purposes. But the process through which the electricity is produced to break down this water molecule, that is important, and based on that, four type of hydrogen is named after. So green hydrogen, renewable energy used; brown hydrogen, coal is used for generating electricity; gray, natural gas plus emissions are released into air; blue, natural gas plus emissions are captured. So keep these facts in mind. Moving forward, she says forced conversions may affect national security, freedom of religion. So Supreme Court was hearing a petition regarding forceful conversions. So in that it says that the forceful or fraudulent conversions are a threat to national security and freedom of religion that is given to people of India under Article 25 to 28 as a fundamental right. Further, it asks centers as to what steps it would take or it intends to take to curb compulsory or deceitful religious conversions. So let us see few facts about freedom of religion. So freedom of religion is a fundamental right given to people of India or residents of India, which includes citizens as well as non-citizens as well. These rights are enshrined under Article 25 to 28. So Article 25, freedom to practice, propagate and preach the religion, but it does not allow the forceful conversion, but it allows conversion based on individual choice. Article 26, right to manage religious affairs. 27, right to freedom from paying taxes in religious affairs. And 28, manage institutions, educational institutions. So these are four articles under right to freedom of religion as given below. Moving forward, so this is a fact you need to remember, that Pushkar fair that helps annually in Ajmer, Rajasthan, which is popularly famous for cattle trade as well as its cultural significance. It has seen a very low people turnout this year due to lumpy skin disease that is prevalent among animals. So keep this fact in mind. Now, in another news, Human Development Index that is released by UNDP. It measures the performance of a nation based on health, average income, and education. So under this index, India performs poorly, as India's rank based on 2021 data is 132 out of 191 nations. So still and more needs to be done in these aspects. So keep this fact in mind, that HDI is released by UNDP. Moving forward, so the G20 summit will undergo from today onwards in Bali, Indonesia. It will be 17th summit of world most advanced economies, 19 top economies plus EU, European Union, where world leaders will come and together and will discuss on various global issues, including COVID recovery and economic crisis. So the motto of this year G20 summit is recover together, recover stronger. Further, it is also significant because from next year onwards, the Trioca that consists of three members in G20 would be made of emerging economies for the first time. So what is Trioca? Trioca consists of three members who have held presidency in past year, in present, and in upcoming year. So next year, that is 2023, the past year Indonesia, current year India, and 2024 would be in Brazil. So all three are developing economies. So for the first time, it is happening that the presidency or chairmanship is shifting towards developing economies, which shows the dominance of developing countries in today's world economy. Keep these facts in mind. Now, this data can be used for mains answer writing, where government is planning to set up 740 Eklavya model residential schools for tribal students. So for tribal education, Eklavya residential school model has been envisaged by government, though it is a model that was envisaged in 1997-98, but it was revamped in 2018-19, under which tribal schools would be opened up in areas where the population is at least 20,000 STs, which constitutes more than 50% of total population. So these two conditions are necessary for opening a tribal residential school in a sub district. So this editorial says that this idea is fine and government is proceeding with it, but parliamentary standing committee has raised various concerns in this regard, as this idea is impractical and need an immediate review. Why it has said that? Because there are various hurdles. The first hurdle is land acquisition. The land acquisition hurdle is because there is 15 acres of land required to build a residential school. So that is an issue. Secondly, the population criteria is also a limitation, because tribals are sparse in few hilly areas. Tribals are sparsely located and the population criteria is not fulfilled. And thirdly, the land acquisition process is also cumbersome. So these three are the reasons cited by parliamentary standing committee to look into this matter before going forward. But government is moving ahead and not considering these recommendation, and it is saying that we will first take up these schools and then we will see what changes needs to be done in this regard. So you can use this fact that 740 Eklavya model residential schools for tribal students are being established on similar lines to Kendriya Vidyalayas and Jwar Navodaya Vidyalayas for tribal welfare. Moving forward, this news is related to defense project to track small fishing vessels now make progress. So just after 26/11 Mumbai attacks, there has been talks of how to strengthen the coastal security in our nation, because 26/11 attackers planned their attacks and reached to Indian shores via our vulnerable coastal areas. So in that regard, in 2018, the Sea Vigil exercise was envisaged, which would consist of all coastal states, including fishing communities, to participate in exercise so that it can boost up our coastal defenses. So in that regard, the another step that was taken was to install transponders on small fishing vehicles, especially under 20-meter length, to enhance coastal security measures. So that project is moving forward, though at a slow pace, but it is gaining momentum. So keep this fact in mind that Sea Vigil exercise is a coastal exercise participated by all coastal states of India along with other stakeholders. And third edition will start from today. The first edition was conducted in 2019, second was in 2021, and third is in 2022. So I have already explained about it. Moving forward, This news is related to cryptocurrency. So crypto's Lehman Brothers moment. So in America, the second largest crypto exchange has been declared bankrupt and millions of users were barred from withdrawing funds. So basically, it was collapsed due to various reasons. We need not go into details about why it happened or how it happened. But from this episode, we can say that this cryptocurrency without regulation is very volatile and it needs regulation. So in that regard, in fact, our RBI governor has said that private cryptocurrencies are a big threat to our finance and macroeconomic stability. And the case in point is currently what has happened in America. So it has said that the crypto investors, they are investing at their own risk, and these cryptocurrencies have no underlying assets. This cryptocurrency is based on speculation, and that is why without regulation, investing in it is prone to risk. Similarly, in union budget, India has imposed 30% of taxes on virtual assets and has planned to unveil a central digital bank currency instead of cryptocurrency, which is a decentralized currency. Center has proposed to come up with the central bank digital currency in this year's budget. Now, if we look in this year and this year alone, at least 3 crypto exchanges have posed clients withdrawals both in India and abroad, and thereby there has been lot of volatility in cryptocurrency market. So one needs question as well as adequate knowledge before investing in it, because these are not regulated currently in India. So if you look at cryptocurrency, then it is a digital asset which exists virtually and has no physical underlying asset. And it is supported by decentralized peer-to-peer network, as no central agency like RBI or any other authority is involved. So it is peer-to-peer network based on blockchain technology. So keep these facts in mind. Now let's move to the last segment, that is prelims questions based on today's newspaper. First question is, which are correct statements about CPI, Consumer Price Index? Statement 1, it is released by OEA, Office of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Its base year is 2001-2002, and these are your options. So you can pause this video for 10 to 15 seconds, try to attempt this question and then listen to the explanation part. So as you discussed that Consumer Price Index, it is released by NSO, that is National Statistics Office. Whereas Wholesale Price Index is released by Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So this is wrong, and its base year is 2011-12. Same for WPI as well. So this is also wrong. So D is right answer. Now moving forward, which is correct statement about different type of hydrogens? Statement 1, green hydrogen is produced by electrolysis of water using renewable energy. Blue hydrogen is produced from natural gas where the associated emissions are released to the air. And these are your options. Now, as you discussed that hydrogen is formed by splitting of water molecule to H2 and O2. And this process involves electrolysis, which requires electricity. Now, if the electricity is renewable energy, then it is known as green hydrogen. If electricity is formed from coal, then it is known as brown hydrogen. If electricity is made from natural gas and subsequent emissions are released to air, then it is known as gray hydrogen. And if emissions are trapped, captured, then it is blue hydrogen. So when emissions are released, it is not blue, but it is gray hydrogen. So 1 is true, second is wrong, A is right answer. Moving forward, which are correct statements about right to freedom to religion? Statement 1, these rights are fundamental rights available only to citizens of India. Statement 2, these rights are given subject to reasonable restrictions. So as we have discussed that freedom to religion rights are fundamental rights that are given to citizens as well as non-citizens, and it is not restricted only to citizens. So first is wrong. And yes, these are not absolute rights, but these are subject to some reasonable restrictions such as public order, morality, decency, etc. So statement 2 is right, 1 is wrong, B is right answer. Moving forward, which are correct statements about sea vigil exercise? Statement 1, all Indian border states take part in it. Statement 2, first edition of it was held just after 2011 Mumbai attacks. These are your options. So as we have discussed that sea vigil exercise in which all coastal border states take part and not all Indian border states. So first statement is wrong, and first edition of it was conducted in 2019. Though it was envisaged after 26 Mumbai attacks, but the first edition was held in 2019 and not 2009. So this is wrong. So D is right answer. Last question of the day is, which are correct statements about Human Development Index? Statement 1, it is released by WHO. Statement 2, India's rank has improved drastically in last few years. And your options are 1 only, 2 only, both and none. So as we've discussed that Human Development Index is released by UNDP. And India's rank is not good. In 2021 index, India's rank was 132. So both are wrong. D is right answer. So that's all for today. If you find this video helpful, then please like this video and subscribe to this channel for daily current affair videos as well as MCQs for prelims 2023. Thank you.